I want to start with a story that I read, and I want to give it to you in two ways because everybody prioritizes facts using a story. Stories are what makes us human. It's what knits us together. It's what brings us together. It's what motivates us to lift up higher and also go to war. Stories are important. But how you tell the story is more important. How can two people look at exactly the same news and see it so differently? Because that's what we're experiencing right now. We're seeing things happen with illegal immigration and ICE, and we're looking at the same story. No. We think we're looking at the same facts. What we're doing is we're looking at two different stories. Okay? Depending on how you use the facts, admitting some things that don't fit, overemphasizing things that do fit your narrative, we change the actual story. And this is the problem. This is why we're not listening to one another. We have to be able to find a way to hear each other. So let me give you an example of the kind of stories that you're reading and hearing about. Let me give you two examples, okay? First story. He came to America looking for something simple. He came to America for a chance. He left his home in Ireland alone to come to the land of opportunity. He arrived just as so many Irishmen arrived in this country. Almost nothing in his pocket, just a dream and a city that understands the Irish, Boston. So he gets to Boston, and like so many people before him, he finds work. He builds a life. He builds his own business. He falls in love, gets married. He builds something here in America that he couldn't build in Ireland. And it's stable. And it's home. Then one day, he's just doing his business, routine stop at Home Depot, and everything changes. Handcuffs, detention. He's transported more than 2,000 miles away to a facility in Texas, and he spends months in this room he says is filthy, little sunlight. He barely gets to see outside anymore, very small meals, uncertainty hanging over him like a fog every single day. He doesn't know what's coming next. He finally gets a chance to speak, and he says, I feel completely forgotten. I have a wife at home. She's trying to hold things together, hoping against hope that maybe the system will see him more than just a number. He has 2 dogs. His wife tells the press they're waiting for him at home, wondering when he's coming back. They wait by the door, waiting for him to come home. Well, even people in Ireland are outraged. Politicians in his homeland now speaking up, asking questions about how a man with a life built here ends up locked away, fearing riots, wondering whether anybody hears him. He's an Irishman. He came to America for a better dream. You hear this story and you think, there but by the grace of God go I. All he was trying to do is build something, and now he's waiting behind a locked door, hoping somebody remembers that he's a human. Well, I remember he's a human, and that's why I want you to go to the GoFundMe page. It's already raised $30,000 for his legal defense. Now, you hear that story told like that, and I can see why you might be upset. But now let me add in facts and tell you the same tale, different story, but only because I'm adding the facts. Let me tell you, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. The man in the story, and by the way, this is a real story. This is in the news today. The man who was detained by ICE didn't just arrive and build a life, but that is the story you're getting if you read anything from the left. Okay? What I just gave you is the story you're reading if you only read things from the left. According to federal authorities, he entered the country under a 90-day visa waiver, and he never left. And he has remained here in the United States for more than 15 years beyond his legal status. Now, well, I mean, he didn't know, nobody did anything. No. They tried. An immigration judge issued a final order of removal. They went and they picked him up. Yes, at a Home Depot. Officials say he was offered immediate return to Ireland, but he chose to stay in detention instead. Well, now the Irish are very upset because he should be here. Well, let me add some more facts. This is the part that rarely makes the first headline. Why did he leave Ireland? Was it truly for the land of opportunity? Or was it possible that he was trying to escape a life that he already had in Ireland? You see, back in Ireland, there were drug-related charges, including allegations of intent to supply and obstruction of a police officer. A court sought a bench warrant after he failed to appear. Okay, we leave out all those facts. And sympathy is now gathering here in the United States, and there's fundraising campaigns. There's radio interviews, emotional appeals. And two voices have surfaced that changed the picture a bit, but you're not hearing about these two voices. And the two voices are his twin daughters in Ireland. The twins, who are now about to turn 19. They were 18. It's an interesting number, 18, because when their father abandoned them, they were 18 months old, leaving their mother, Margaret Maggie Morrissey, to raise his two daughters all alone. They never saw him again, never received a dime in child support. Dad just disappeared. Until they heard from him briefly after his detention. He's not a victim of circumstance. He was a father who abandoned his children. And then only when he was arrested did he reach out to his children, maybe hoping against hope that the children would throw sympathy his way. And while the social media posts all are talking about his dogs waiting at home, the daughters reminded the world there were children waiting for him to come home their whole lives as well. Same man, same facts. But now the second story with all of the facts asks a different question. Is this about injustice or is this consequences delayed? How do we get to a place to where we can agree on anything? See, we don't have the facts in common. And when facts are intentionally omitted, the story changes. What changed between these two stories here, not the facts, just which facts come first, which facts are delayed, which facts are admitted for a while, or maybe ever. Because the facts, the way you position the facts, allows you, a good storyteller, to control the emotions. Which emotions are you priming before the context arrives? What I did in the first story was activate your compassion first. I wanted to make sure that you understood this guy is just an immigrant, like all these thousands and thousands of immigrants that are Irish that came over to Boston. Story 2 activates accountability first. Now, both are real and both are persuasive, and that is exactly the point. You don't have to lie about to change public opinion. You don't. You only have to decide what the audience feels first. Okay, so let me give you a couple of things. First, is anybody concentrating on the fact of what Hillary Clinton said in Berlin this week? This last weekend, there was a big security conference, and Hillary Clinton said something about illegal immigration that's very, very important. Cut 11, please.
There is a legitimate reason to have a debate about things like migration. It went too far. It's been disruptive and destabilizing, and it needs to be fixed in a humane way with secure borders that don't torture and kill people. So this really, yes, migration has been a huge flashpoint. More people were deported under my husband and Barack Obama without killing American citizens and without putting children into detention camps than were in the first Trump term or this first year of Trump's second term.
I can't take it. Stop. I can't take it. I can't take it. Yes, she's absolutely right. It's gone too far. It was out of control. It's disruptive. It's destroying our societies. More people were put into deported under her husband and Barack Obama by far than anything Donald Trump has done without killing or torturing. Okay, stop it. Stop it right now. Why has there been anyone who has been killed? Why has there been a single person? What is the difference between when your husband and Barack Obama was doing it and now? I'll give you the only difference. One. There weren't left-wing activists in the street trying to thwart them at every step of the way. There weren't politicians who were calling them Nazis for doing it. That's the difference, Hillary. Again, use all of the facts. You can't just see what she just did. She left out really important facts and she went right for, look, it's a problem, but, and that's where they get you. It's a problem, but. Now, let me play another. This is SOT 30. This is a woman who is stalking ICE. Okay, she's in Minnesota. She sees ICE agents. They're taking an illegal alien, and she sees it. She spots it, and she's there because she had heard that there was ICE activity in the area. That immediately marks you as an extremist, okay? Who are you listening to? Where do you get that? You're obviously following a group that wants to stop ICE. Okay, all right. So she locates the dark gray Durango, licensed Nebraska plates, and she gives the plates, where 3 agents inside are following a woman in her car. They followed her Walmart, where I watched them interact, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So she confronts the ICE agents. Now, let me play what she said. Here's cut number 30.
This isn't a good look for you.
You think I care about my look?
No, oh, no, trust me.
When you guys
It is evident by how you look, you don't care. We get that, trust me. No, that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying this, trying to be a social warrior. If you actually cared, you probably would care about the child who got raped and also the person who got murdered by the person that we were looking for. But see, you don't care.
No, I don't care because you guys try. You just try to detain legal immigrants.
Okay. This is what happens every time. By the way, I love the sassy ICE agent. This is not a good look for you. I don't care how I look. Oh, trust me, sweetheart. That fashion you got going on there, car there, it's a train wreck. No survivors. We know you don't care about how you look. I mean, I love that. I do love that. It's satisfying, but probably wrong to do. This is where we end up with identity over information. Okay? For the activist, one way or another, left or right, there are no longer specific facts in front of them. Okay? This is all about identity. He is ICE, therefore he's either the good guy in his head or he's the Nazi in her head, okay? That's the role they play, and there's no breaking that, especially when there's a camera or a crowd. Once there's a camera or a crowd, you must perform, okay? Law enforcement, you're an abuse of power. Government institutions, you're unjust. Then every interaction with somebody like this Karen becomes filtered through the lens of those facts before they even arrive. She was going to find them to tell them off because they're abusing. Doesn't matter that the guy that they were taking was a guy who was molesting children. Molesting children. This is the way our brain works, okay? It protects identity first. Facts come second, if they come at all. So when it says, you would care, if you really did care, you would be accused, or you would be horrified that we were picking up somebody that was abusing children. all she hears is blah, 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 I'm justifying my evil. That's what she hears. She's just hearing blah, blah, blah propaganda from the big evil government. What's so amazing here is that both sides believe they are protecting the public from violence. One has been trained to disregard everything that the government says. Again, why did Hillary Clinton say there were no deaths of anybody who was just standing up against? Because there wasn't anyone standing up against it. And don't tell me about the cages, because I was there pointing out the cages that Barack Obama was using, and no one cared until Donald Trump came in and he started closing those cages down, and you accused him of building cages. Please, please. All you have to do is actually look for the facts. So when he says a child was harmed, her brain immediately searches for the counter harm they believe is bigger. They're not debating any facts here. They're debating which moral lens gets priority. And that's what we have to break. Okay? And again, because she came with a camera, it's theater. Once the camera is rolling, the pride locks in. The tribal signals are vital. Backing down is betrayal. It will make you a traitor. Okay? And you know this. People say things publicly, and then when you get them aside, usually they'll be like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I know, blah, 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 blah. But there's no breakthrough that is possible when you're performing for an audience. So how do you break through on this? Let me show you. Let me show you how you break through. And not everybody's going to hear the breakthrough. It may be more important for the members of the audience to see.
Thank you for thinking for yourself and being part of a movement, because that's really what all of this is. If you want the full story, you want to go deeper, go to blazetv.com/Glenn. Go there right now, sign up, no interruptions, just the truth, uncensored and unfiltered. Don't just watch, take a stand. And I'll see you over there in a minute.